Hey guys, this is BB Games here, and this is a new series I'm doing called the Versus series. In this series, I'm going to compare two games that are similar in some way. Whether they're similar in story, graphics, gameplay, it doesn't really matter. At the end of each of these videos, I'm going to say which game I like better. Feel free to leave a comment telling us which game you like better, and also feel free to leave suggestions for videos like this in the future, and also countdowns in the future. And lastly, just as a side note, I'm going to try to make these videos shorter than the countdowns. I realize it's hard to find time to watch a 20-minute video. Because these videos are shorter, I'm going to try to upload them more frequently. With these things in mind, let's get this started. This time we are doing Far Cry 3 versus Skyrim. But you probably already know that because, you know, that's the title of the video. Yeah. People always say that Far Cry 3 is Skyrim with the guns, and I'm going to tell you what I think about that statement. Now first of all, I'm going over the story of each of these games, which they're in no way similar. Here's a very basic version of Skyrim's story. The dragons have come back and they are here to destroy all humans. Never fear though, because you are a dragonborn and you have the power to kill dragons and absorb their energy and use their energy as shells. You must use these powers to kill the head of all the dragons, Alduin, and save the world. Now there is more to the story, but I'm trying to make this video short, so I'm not going to explain the whole story because that would take forever. Overall, I like Skyrim's story. I've always been a sucker for stories where you have to save the entire world though. Now here's Far Cry 3's basic story. You're on an island having a party with your friends because your brother got his pilot's license, and you decide to go skydiving. You land in the wrong spot, and you're taken prisoner by pirates. Whoops. You escape the pirates, but your brother dies, leaving only you to find where your friends are. Now, this story would be great and all, but the game never really develops your friends. They just seem like random people you don't care about that you have to save. This is probably Far Cry 3's biggest problem, but it makes up for it in gameplay. Now the gameplay is where things get kind of similar. These games have a very similar leveling up system. In each of them, when you level up, you choose a perk under a certain skill. The only difference in the leveling up system in these two games is in Skyrim, you level up each skill individually, and leveling up each skill gives you better perks. In Far Cry 3, you unlock better perks by doing missions or completing certain objectives. The only other difference between these is in Skyrim, there's 18 skills, but in Far Cry 3, there's only 3 skills. You will also find chests along your journey in both of these games. I feel that Skyrim does the chest way better. One of the most addicting things in Skyrim is searching every area to try to find the next best armor upgrade or weapon. Far Cry 3, however, has chests scattered all over the island, but they usually don't have anything special in them. They usually have some money or a random object you could sell into them. I almost feel like Far Cry 3 doesn't even need the chests because they're so pointless. I do understand, however, that Skyrim should do this better because it's an RPG. These games are both free roam games, but Skyrim is an RPG, and Far Cry is obviously a first-person shooter. Skyrim has one huge flaw, and that's the glitches. Sometimes I've had huge quests break completely just because of a glitch. Speaking of glitches, the first time I encountered a giant, this happened. I was afraid to go near the giants for a while because I thought that was actually what was supposed to happen, and then I was just too low of a level. Far Cry 3 doesn't have any glitches that I know of, but there are some gameplay elements from it that I want to talk about. First of all, this game is really fun. You can hunt animals with an RPG. What else could you want? The hunting is another fun mechanic this game offers. Skyrim also has hunting too. In Far Cry 3 you hunt certain animals and make things like wallets or an extra weapon slot. In Skyrim you hunt to get pelts that you make leather out of. This leather allows you to craft certain items like weapons and armor. To get weapons in Far Cry 3, you have to activate radio towers. After you activate a radio tower, you get certain weapons for free. I recommend activating these early because there's so many fun weapons you could use. Far Cry 3 has an edge in Skyrim in the weapons department. Skyrim just has standard swords and shields, but Far Cry 3 has a flamethrower. Pretty. There is one huge difference these two games have. Skyrim is during the medieval times and it's mostly snowy where Skyrim is, but Far Cry 3 takes place during the modern day on a tropical island. That's kind of a big difference. I do admit, however, that it would be ridiculous going around and shooting people during medieval times. There are a couple things that I want to talk about briefly. First of all, both these games are great looking games. Although Far Cry 3 is more colorful, I still love Skyrim's graphic style. Overall, I think Far Cry 3's graphics are better because Skyrim has a lot of poppin'. The last thing that I want to talk about is music. Far Cry 3's music is fun to listen to, but it just doesn't compare to Skyrim's legendary soundtrack. All the music in Skyrim is so memorable. I'll never forget walking around the world of Skyrim during night when the night theme was playing and I was looking at the stars. Now the main question of this video is, do I think Far Cry 3 is Skyrim with guns? This is a tough question, and it could go either way, but I really don't think that Far Cry 3 is Skyrim with the guns. The feel of these games are just so different. Far Cry 3 doesn't take itself very seriously, while Skyrim does. Now, which one do I think is better? Although Far Cry 3 is a great game, I'm gonna have to go with Skyrim on this one. Skyrim might be the most immersive game I've ever played. I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm in another world when I play it, and the music just adds to the feeling. Skyrim is also one of the most addicting games I've ever played. Like I said before, I was always looking for the next best piece of armor, or the next best weapon. Even though I like Skyrim better, I'd recommend both of these games, and you should play them if you haven't already. So I hope you guys liked this short little video. If you liked the video, then leave a like, and if you want to see more, then be sure to subscribe. Click here for my previous video, which is my top 10 Mario games. And if you're from the future, click here to see my next video. See you guys next time.